What's up, Fight Fam, and welcome to Boxing Bros. This is episode 16. I'm Caden, and I'm here with my co-host. I'm sitting to the left.
Trail.
What up, y'all? Y'all already know who it is.
We don't know what it is, though.
TV. Net the cameraman, yo.
That's an idiot. Sitting to the right.
This good is G.
All right, the first topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is our reaction to Errol Spence versus Shawn Porter. And I'm going to start this one off with Trill.
I was impressed. I thought it was a good fight. I knew what Errol was going to do. And like I said on the last episode of Boxing Bros, people like to, say it was going to be a wash and everything, but people forgot that Shawn Porter is a dog. I was more impressed with Shawn. I was more impressed with Shawn in this fight, even though he lost and I had him losing. I was just more impressed with Shawn. He didn't come down there. He didn't come to lay down. He didn't come and get bullied like everybody was saying, like he was gonna get knocked out. He was gonna get stabbed. Shawn is a dog, like I stated it, and you just wasn't gonna knock out Shawn because I ain't never seen somebody go in there and just knock out Shawn. I only seen Shawn put down twice now, but there's only one person that really did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say who his name is, but there's only one person that really put Shawn on his butt. You know what I'm saying? And his name is Adrian Brody. We know what it is.
I think we're going to say it.
You roped me into that one. But listen, it was a good fight. It was a back and forth fight. It was what I said. It was everything that I said it was going to be. I said this was going to be the first test for Errol, and it was. And I said that this was going to. People was gonna be surprised by Shawn Porter because everybody had Shawn Porter written off like he wasn't a tough guy, a tough competitor. You know what I'm saying? And predictions come true. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence with the decision. I would say though, whoever was given that the fight to Shawn, he needs to watch the fight again. I think he needs to watch the fight again. But I think it was a good fight. I would love to see it again. Me personally, I would love to see it again. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see Shawn and Errol in there again. You know what I'm saying? I know Danny hopped in there, and I think that would be a great fight too, another classic. But I don't think Shawn got washed, and he deserves to get another rematch. I wouldn't be mad if they run it back. Shit, you got Wilder fighting Ortiz again.
All right, G.
It's funny that you said about the judges because when we watched it last night, literally it's three guys on the couch and all three scored it different. You know what I mean? And so I'm literally to the left of me. My brother was like, "Yo, Porter won." I said, "What?" You know what I'm saying? No, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I don't see what they seeing. I agreed more with the two judges that had it with Spence.
Mm-hmm.
They had it 116, 111. I had it 117, 110. But we did have a huge argument over the first round. It could go either which way. So even if I gave Porter the first round, I would have it exactly like the two judges. But even though the scores seemed kind of wide, doesn't mean it wasn't still a great fight.
Yeah, competitive.
It was an excellent competitive fight. I just felt like the way Porter fights, he throws a lot, he moves a lot, right? But he's not landing. You know what I'm saying?
He smothers a lot of his shots.
Yeah, so it's like, am I gonna really give him credit just for being more active while the other fighter is throwing and connecting? You know what I'm saying? And so I can't. The only time I was like, all right, clearly Porter won was when Porter hit him with clean shots and was hurting him. And that was only a couple of rounds. But again, I'm realizing, like, you know how they say, like, styles make fights. Like, styles make scorecards too. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you like? Do you like the aggressive fighter or do you like the more traditional boxer who lands clean shots? I lean more towards the traditional boxer. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to see what I'm looking at. Just because you move in, smothering, all that, doesn't mean you're really effective. It just means, like, you know what, you're just trying to stay in the pocket and frustrate the person that you're fighting against. But another thing I do like to say, you know, there was a couple of times where it seemed like Earl was intentionally trying to remove my man Porter's lineage, you know what I'm saying? For real, like them shots were real low, you know what I mean? Like most of them were on the belt, but there was a few that were like low, and I was just like, yo, what's going on? Is it due to frustration or due to the height difference?
I think the height and how high the trunks was. And another thing that you mentioned, I noticed too in this fight, I think judges now are starting to be educated now. I think now everybody's gonna look at that Danny and Shawn fight totally different now.
Yo, you know why? Because he snitched on himself. Porter literally after the fight was like, yeah, you know, I pick my angles wisely, you know, so judges just see movement and score for me. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying?
But not only that,
to me, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, now you're banking on smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
You're not actually banking on landing clean shots. So that's why I was.
And that's why I picked Danny in that fight. I thought Danny landed the more clean, effective shots in that fight. But not to take nothing away from Shawn Porter because he landed on Errol this night.
So clearly,
I've never seen Errol hit like that. And Shawn wasn't just pity patting. He landed some joints, some uppercuts and stuff like that, some jabs and stuff. I was impressed with Shawn Porter.
He hit him with 4 uppercuts.
I was impressed with Shawn.
That never happened, bro. That's an
what
exaggeration
Keith-
from
that's what
Keith Thurman.
said.
Don't listen to Keith Thurman. Come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? But what I would say is this.
No, but I would just clarify something real quick that you brought up, and Trill made the point as well. So Shawn Porter had his trunks high because you couldn't see his belly button, and the rule is you're supposed to be able to see a fighter's belly button. So if you can't see the fighter's belly button, they usually let him work within the belt line because you have to imagine where the fighter's belly button is going to be. If Shawn would have wore his trucks appropriately, then we could have we would have been able to tell what was actually a low blow. But because we couldn't see his belly button, they gave Spence some leeway to work, and that's always been the case in boxing.
Yeah,
Right, so
but, and also, what I would like to say is clearly Porter is an elite fighter, an elite level welterweight, right?
All these guys.
Yeah, so it's like, to me, I don't think it's stopped, diminished in any way, you know. And another thing too, shout out to Kenny Porter, man. I swear, when that dude told his own son, yo, let him throw body shots, as long as you come back with shots to the head, I'm like, fam. Like, this kid, like, literally kidney shot, all kind of stuff. He could probably never have kids again. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, he was
his
telling
own
them.
pop said, yo, it is what it is. We trying to win. And I was like, yo,
Now he was
respect.
just basically saying, like, when he goes down to it, he said, "Don't listen." And he said, "Attack over with the right."
No, I actually agreed. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
when he said it, I was telling the dudes while I was watching.
It
but I
just
was like,
sounded more crazy.
Yo, it sounded crazy,
in a
but I was
moment.
like, it
In a
made
moment.
sense. And he was
But in a
actually
moment.
doing it a couple of
Yeah.
times, you know, but clearly
Because
again.
it takes a lot for Earl because Earl's the taller, plus the longer guy, so it takes him long, and that's how he got off of balance at the last time when he got hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's another thing too that they didn't mention a lot about was the feet. They didn't mention the feet a lot. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, he was stepping on toes.
I thought it was a tough fight. I haven't seen Earl's face look like that before.
Yo, and surprisingly, I don't think there was a headbutt. Maybe one. Maybe one.
There was one that when the blood came out, it was accidental.
Yeah, but like that was it.
And
I was anticipating.
And that's when he got pulled
kind
in.
of headbutts, like Jean-Claude Van Damme headbutts, Steven Seagal headbutts. But it was actually a good fight, man. Honestly, I would love to see a part 2. You know, and in the next segment, we'll go into further detail why. But like clearly, that garnered a part 2. Porter Spence 2.
Ned,
The fight was a good fight. Don't get me wrong. Spence did his thing. Porter came in. Porter fought a tough fight. I say that. He fought a really good fight, you know. He was throwing a lot of punches, wasn't connecting. Spence was slipping aside a lot of his punches. You know, in the later rounds, it got a little heavy. Porter was doing his thing. He was connecting and doing a little damage. Spilled a little blood, you know, but, you know, a headbutt there. You know, that was it. A headbutt caught Spence and he was bleeding. But after that, a knockdown in, you know, Spence pulled it out. So it was a good fight. It's what I expected. But, yeah.
All right. So for me, I think my takeaway was I was impressed with Shawn Porter because I always saw Shawn Porter as a guy who came into the ring with roughhouse tactics, and like we said, he has like the running back style. He'll hit you with anything. But I think more so in this fight than any other fight, Shawn Porter displayed talent. I mean, he got out of the way of punches. He spun Earl around. He landed clean punches. Like, yeah, he usually smothers his work, but he didn't do that as much this fight. He was able to land some good shots on Errol. Like, he landed some flush hooks. He landed some flush straight punches. In the first round, I felt like he won the first round. He moved around. He had Earl stalking him, but he was able to move and land punches off of the movement. I felt like ring generalship. That's one thing you score. And Porter was dictating the fight, and he was the one who was getting his work off based on movement and things of that nature. The scorecards to me were too wide. I had it 115, 112. I had Spence by 3 points, the knockdown. But before that, I felt like Porter did win some of those rounds. I think it's ridiculous to say Porter only won 3 rounds. And I'm someone who, in the build-up to this fight, was saying how I dislike Porter's style. I don't think that I thought Spence was going to wash him, but I have to be real with what I'm watching. That's one thing I am is objective. And Porter brought it, man. Porter impressed me. He brought heart. He had determination. You can tell he gave it his all in that ring. I mean, Porter got rocked in the 11th round, and he had to be in shape because when you get hit with that type of punch in the 11th round, guys usually look at Anthony Yard when he got hit with a jab. He just sat there and fell and couldn't get back up. But you saw Porter touch the ground, got right back up. And he looked at Spence and was like, "Let's go." And he went there and he said, "If I'm gonna go out trying to take your head off." And Spence knew, like, yo, this guy's still in this fight. I was very impressed with Porter. With that being said, I wasn't so impressed with Errol Spence. To me, I don't get him. Logic would tell me you would box Shawn Porter and you would try to go forward and knock out Mikey Garcia. But for some reason, he tried to do the opposite. If you're going to base your game plan on trying to prove something to people, you're just asking to take an L. To me, you should have boxed Shawn Porter. And trying to go toe-to-toe, life and death with Shawn Porter, I think gave Spence a very tough fight. He took a lot of wear and tear. And, I wouldn't mind seeing that fight again because, quite frankly, I think the knockdown really gave Spence the space. On my card, I had it 115, 112. So without that knockdown, we're talking about a possible draw or maybe even Porter having a shot on my card. So anyone who had 116, 111, you weren't watching the fight. Like, real talk, you weren't watching the fight and being honest with yourself. I get it. Porter does a lot of smoke and mirrors, not this fight. Not this fight. Porter deserves credit for this fight. And Errol Spence, we'll get to it in the later segments, but maybe he's not the guy I thought he was. Not because he doesn't have the talent, but he's choosing to fight the wrong fights. Why box Mikey but slug with Porter?
I think Earl is everything that you think he was. Shawn was we just underestimated Shawn, I believe. I think we really underestimated Shawn, and I think Shawn really showed that he had something. And
I agree.
He really has something. And I'm like, these are the top welterweights. This is the golden era. You know what I'm saying? This is up there with the golden era, excuse me. This is up there with the golden era of welterweights where everybody's fast. Everybody's nice. I said it the last episode. This is any given Saturday. One of these guys can pull it off. Earl sat in there, and with the Mikey situation was the whole thing where they were saying Mikey's gonna outbox him, and so he wanted to go in there and show that he was gonna outbox him. With this one, it was like Shawn's gonna come in there, he's gonna be the rugged guy, so he said, I wanna out-rugged the rugged guy. You know what I'm saying? These are just little challenges or little tests that Errol probably puts in front of him, so to help him in the fight. I actually had it the same way. I think that the knockdown gave that 2 points, gave Earl that cushion right there
I agree.
to make it a 15-12. I believe it was a seesaw battle. It was back and forth. Like Earl would say it, you know what I'm saying? Like one round he would let Shawn go do his thing, and then the next round he would try to go in there, he'll try to do his thing. It was a seesaw battle. And I wouldn't mind seeing it again. I just think that any given Saturday, all these guys is powerful, all these guys is fast. It's just who's the judges that night.
I agree. We were saying that you switch a judge, and then each one of these fights could have gone differently. Split decision, Spence Porter, split decision Garcia Thurman, split decision Porter Garcia. You swap a judge, and all these fights can go differently. But this is what I'm saying, right? That I don't like about Spence. It seems like if they say he can't outbox a guy, he wants to prove he can outbox a guy. If they say he can't, stay inside with a guy, he wants to prove he go inside with a guy. So if he fights Danny Garcia and they say you can't hook with a hooker, you're gonna try to hook with Danny. At some point, that's what I don't like. Stop trying to prove something and just go win the fight. Because in my mind, he was going to outbox Shawn, right? And then from the opening bell, Shawn was actually the one boxing, and he's just trying to walk Shawn down. I'm like, what am I watching right now? So already I'm like, this is going to be one of those fights where they're going to try to prove Shawn Porter wants to prove he can box, and Spence wants to prove he can bang, and I'm like, yo, do your bread and butter. Let that be your bread and butter. But overall,
Errol's bread and butter. A separate theory, right? Because I think maybe he was intentionally trying to slug it out to the body to slow down Porter for the later rounds.
Yeah, because that reminds me of
I think after round, I think it was once he hit round 8, that's when like Spence was like, all right, he'll forget this. I'm going back to being a boxer again. You know what I mean? But the first couple of rounds, I think the strategy was we gotta slow down Porter because he moves a lot. So if we hit him with enough body shots, maybe we'll be straight. But it clearly didn't work. So then he just went back to just being a traditional boxer.
But Earl, I've never really considered Earl like a boxer. Honestly.
Yeah, facts. Yeah.
I always seen him being an aggressive guy. Every time I've ever seen Earl, he's always coming forward and he's
always a bigger person.
Yeah, and he's always being aggressive. Like with me, I'm not gonna allow Earl to just be like, oh, I just wanted to show a boxing lesson against Mikey. Sometimes it just depends on the fighter. Mikey is really, really a good fighter, yo. You know what I'm saying? You're elite fighters. You're not going to just be knocking out elite fighters. It just doesn't happen. I know he was a smaller guy, but Mikey's Mikey. You know what I'm saying? Mikey's special. You're just not going to just knock Mikey out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen Mikey down. You know what I'm saying? I seen him get hit off balance shot. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never seen him down. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never seen Mikey get knocked out. You know, so...
Yeah, but another thing too, I do agree with what Katie was saying, that Spence, like I've literally watched him on like a couple of interviews where he says, I watch all the YouTube videos, I watch all the commentators, everybody that's hating, I watch your videos. And I'm like, bro, you should be focusing on your fights. Don't be focusing on hate. You know what I mean? Like, forget the hate, man.
Yeah. It shows to me, it just seems like he wants to prove, like, I can win the way you can't. It's like, but that punishment he took from Shawn Porter, that was some serious punishment. You can say whatever you want. Porter got to him.
Yeah.
You know, and Porter, to me, I was very impressed with Shawn Porter. Like I said...
Yo, Porter proved he ain't the boogeyman after all.
To me, real talk, Porter, everyone's saying, I know you said you'd like to see Errol and Porter running back, and you said the same thing. I actually would love to see TC fight Porter next. Because that'll tell me a lot. Now, if TC could be the first one to dominate Porter, then fine. Kell Brook kind of did it the best, but let me see TC dominate Porter, and then we can talk. Because I haven't seen TC in the ring with a guy like Porter.
I don't want to throw him in there right now because I think right now both guys need a rest. After a fight like that, the punishment that Shawn took, because Shawn was willing to die in that ring. Shawn was willing to go out on his shit. When we talk about fighters going out on his shit, that's what we was talking about. Like Errol was throwing everything.
That's what I'm saying.
And
Shawn ate those, man. It was
crazy.
funny.
And Shawn was willing.
I'm telling you, Shawn got a 6-pack in his neck.
Shawn was willing to take Everything that he thrown. Like I said, I've only seen Shawn put on his butt once. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, when you say he was willing to go out on his shield, like he literally was. He went to the press conference and he had his gum shield, and on it said "Man down," and he was like, "Look, I was willing to bite down and take whatever happened to me." But what I found interesting was if you look at his gum shield, it had the Mexican colors.
Yeah.
It was like he's like, I'm coming in there, Mexican warrior, Mexican
With that
style,
mentality,
like that mentality.
he was
Like
ready to go
I'm
out.
coming in here and I'm ready to die in the ring. It was crazy, but I gained so much respect for Porter. His skill set,
definitely.
his heart, his will, his determination. He walked through punches that I don't know if anyone else can take the way that he did. It was a great fight. I would love to see it again, but I do think that there are other fights that should happen before that. But that's my take on it.
Please, thank you for watching Boxing Bros. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. It's the Boxing Bros.
Peace.